Your accurate forecast from Adam Bell starts now with Storm Tracker weather on Montana's news station.
Fires top the weather forecast for this evening. We've got several fires, including the antelope fire, the pony fire, and the bear trap fire. The weather today did enhance this pony fire by almost 6 times in just the daylight hours from this morning into this afternoon because we saw dry conditions, very warm weather, and the winds. The winds are probably the biggest factor in driving that fire to the expansion that it did during the daylight hours today. Several thunderstorms over north, central, and far northern Montana across the region. This yellow box, a severe thunderstorm watch box, in effect for the next few hours. But here in southwest Montana, we didn't have any storms. That's the good news for today because while the storms may produce some moisture, it's not enough moisture to put out the fires, and yes, it does bring lightning with it as well. So good news for us, at least not seeing those storms pop up during the daylight hours today. Let's take a step outside with our First Interstate Bank iCam. A great shot of the moon here in the Gallatin Valley from the Bozeman iCam this evening. A great evening setting up in terms of the weather, but we are still seeing a little bit of some wind out there. The camera is a little bit shaky, but the winds have substantially died down from what they were earlier today across not only southwest Montana, but the entire state, single digits to low teens in terms of miles per hour. So some good news there, some relief for those firefighters as we go into the overnight hours tonight. Another sign of relief, the humidity up to 40%. At 5:30 this evening, it was at just 10%. 68 degrees is the current temperature. Still mild out there, but we are going to be dropping down into the mid and upper 40s for some of us, even some low 50s out there for the rest of the region. Over in the mining city, 74 degrees under a clear sky. North wind at 13, gusting to 20, so still breezy at times, but those winds will be dying down as we go into the overnight hours. The mild temperature is still remaining in central and eastern Montana as they're in the mid-80s, but again, we're in the 70s and 60s, so cooling down as we go into the overnight hours tonight. Forecast for tonight looking like this. We're going to be dropping into the 40s, getting back up into the 70s, so a little bit cooler tomorrow afternoon. Good news for those fighting the fires across the region. Some cooler temperatures, but still the stronger winds are of concern. A little bit milder in the Gallatin Valley tonight, 57 downtown Bozeman, 54 over in Belgrade, even West Yellowstone on the mild side, just 50 degrees for that overnight low. Tomorrow getting into the low 80s. Compare that to the mid 90s today. Again, about 10 to 15 degrees cooler tomorrow afternoon than what we were this afternoon. We do cool down even more on Wednesday and into Thursday. We stay in the 70s. Wednesday, Thursday back in the low 80s. But much cooler weather, at least for the next couple of days, but still no relief in sight in terms of precipitation, which is the big thing that we need to get these fires to really get them under control. Over in the mining city, we have a slight chance for an isolated afternoon shower or storm, but not a lot of moisture with these storms. So again, it could be a storm that sparks some lightning strikes, maybe starting some fires with that, so some concerns there. We do stay in the low 70s at least through Wednesday, but then we warm back up again over in Anaconda. The thunderstorm threat does continue. It's mainly Butte westward where the best chance for those thunderstorms is going to be tomorrow. 80s, though, remaining in the forecast even into early next week. Dillon also looking pretty mild, a little bit less chance of precipitation. Upper 80s, even low 90s possible by late this week. And we are going to be on the mild side even through the weekend as well. And finally, West Yellowstone, picture-perfect forecast to go up in the park. Low 80s all the way through early next week. Some very mild numbers out there. But again, fighting those fires tomorrow may be difficult. Watch for the possibility of critical fire weather. The National Weather Service already discussing the possibility of red flag warnings tomorrow, again, because of the strong winds, the dry conditions, and the warm temperatures.
Thanks for keeping up on that.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Adam. Some little ladies tearing up